What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the SlowBurnHour. I'm your host, Donnie Blue, and to my right is your co-host, Mage Monroe.
What it do, what it do?
Today, our guests are some local legends. Everybody we have on our podcast are local legends, you know. A big part of our podcast is to highlight people that we appreciate, that the community appreciates, or they need to appreciate more, you know. These two gentlemen here have showed us love and support ever since the beginning, much like Dubtown Rob. I was about to spoil it. This is for the audio. I can't spoil it for the audio. They have showed us love from the beginning. They have put us on to their shows, to their projects, gave us opportunities, always open to work, always like every time we see them, they're like, hey, let's do something. We have some unreleased music. We have some released music. Today, our hosts are Johni Boi Lopez and G.O.T.M from NOOWGEN.
Hey. Squad.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
How y'all doing today, man?
Chilling, bro.
Good, brothers.
Chilling.
Good. Thank you guys for having us, for real.
Yeah, man.
God
I
is
feel a little
good.
out of
God
place.
is
Like,
good.
we usually have like headphones on, and then we can hear each other. Like,
Yeah.
But this is cool. This is our first four-person podcast in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think our first four-person
Dope.
podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because we had
No,
Look.
But
that was sick.
That was five.
Five. That was five.
Is this our first one together?
Yeah, but
I
think it
believe
is
so.
our
That's what I was
first.
just telling G in the back. I was like, I think we usually like we'll be at each other's podcast, but we're like it's either him or it's me.
The
It's
only
the
other
first one
thing
we're
would've
like
been
together.
was
So
was the Hot Box, the radio show on
yeah.
147.
Like we did the radio
but that
shit
was
together.
and then we did a pilot, but we never
Yeah,
for
we
Now
never
Gen
released-
radio thing.
Yep.
But that's coming.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
it's
dope.
It's coming.
Yeah, that's coming too. I mean,
Okay.
we talk about that too as well. But
I love y'all's chemistry right off the bat. Like
Thank
you
you.
remind me a lot of me and him. Like I just like see
you.
us and y'all. Like y'all
Yeah,
just
yeah.
get to it. Y'all are if you got an idea, he's ready to execute. Vice versa. If it's ready to be enhanced in any way, if it needs to be,
Yeah.
you know. And I fuck with that.
Thank
I fuck
you.
with that
Thank
from
you,
y'all.
brother.
How'd y'all get locked in? Y'all knew each other from childhood.
Well, he's a little bit older than me. He's my OG. But he looked young.
Good amount
Yeah,
older.
yeah.
Hey, you don't look a day
I'm a
over
good-
21.
I
Nah, he
appreciate that.
looked young, but that's my OG. Yeah,
My homegirl Namaya be playing games at the bar when we go. She be asking people, "Oh, how old is he?" And then they they be like, "Oh, he's 30s, whatever." And I'm like, I appreciate that, but I'm about a good at least 12, 13 years older than you.
Yeah. But we met my boy Eddie. Shouts out to Eddie. Eddie Rocksteady. He's the one who introduced us. We were going to hoop at a church called Christian Life Center. We were going to play basketball, and I had music on MySpace back then. This is like
Remember that?
2008,
Top 10 shit?
just 2008. Yeah, 2008. And he's like, my cousin got a studio. I need to get you in there. And like at that time, everybody used to say stuff like that. People used to say that all the time, just like, oh, I got a studio for you to go to, and they never really followed through. But my boy's like pressing me. He's like, no, you gotta go. So I was like, all right. And then he's like, hey, my cousin's gonna be at CLC. I want you to rap for him. So I was like, all right. And then we get there, we're hooping first. We just play basketball. I already liked his vibe from basketball. I was like, okay, I like how he just the way he
Straight
operates.
shooter,
Yeah,
you feel
like
me?
he's out there like the way he is now, the confidence, all that. He was out there playing basketball like that, you know. So I'm like, okay, I like his vibe. And then he had the 300 on. If y'all familiar with the Chrysler 300,
Yeah.
okay, well, to a young nigga like me, that was like a Benz back, or like the Bentley. You really like so. He goes. He's like, hey, let's go outside because we in the church. He's like, let's go outside and rap real quick. So I go outside. He's sitting there like Suge Knight on the 300. You feel me? He's like, rap for me, little homie.
That's crazy.
I started rapping like 300 songs I had in my head, just like, boom, I'm rapping for him. He's like, hey, you remember all that? Like, for real? I was like, yeah, I got it. He's like, come to my house, you know? So then I go to the studio, and then literally from that time on, it was like we were inseparable.
Yeah, so how it started with the music shit with me was I don't know if y'all remember 92.5 The Bear Rocks. It was a rock radio station.
They're young.
In Merced.
They're young.
I know. I'm about to give them some game. You know what I mean? So 925 The Bear Rocks. There's this dude named Mikey.
Okay.
And his slogan on radio was "Cold One, Road One." Like he was, and I met him through the homie Frank. Shout out homie Frank. But he was like the program director. He was on air personality, all that stuff. And he switched from. They gave him an opportunity to do his own show called Chewy's World. So he changed the name from Mikey Martinez to Chewy Martinez. And then he was like, I want to do a radio show out of my house. The whole theme is out of my house, and we're just topical. Well, man, we had free balling Fridays. We was just funny shit. We would just talk about whatever topical type shit, and then we got picked up in Monterey. So when you get like, it's kind of syndicated. When you get picked up in different areas, that's big shit to him, because it ended up being he was on some foul shit. But anyways, I learned a lot from him, how to record, how to be a radio dude, how to speak. All that other shit. And then, we had that show. Then we picked up Monterey. And then, I started doing, so he stopped doing the real radio shit. So we started a radio station online called I Am Radio 24/7. We was playing everything, hip hop, rock, alternative. I had websites where I was getting new shit before it even came out. So anyways, I had a show called The Hot Box. That was just me though. I was playing new music. I had an interview with like some local artist or whatever. And then a guy came involved. He was like an Indian dude. He had bread.
Wait, before you say that,
go ahead.
Tell him you interviewed Lupe Fiasco too. Like,
I'm like, shit.
He's just gonna not say that. Like I can't let him do that. That's
that
crazy.
Was like and one of the chicks like
crazy.
From the radio, she like it was like they did like a on air dating like questionnaire thing, and Lupe
the 20v1 for before 20v1.
Yeah, he still wanted to rock with her, but she wasn't having it. I don't know the whole like get down of that, but yeah. So this Mexican dude, and his name was Rudy, big dude. Shout out Rudy, you know what I mean? But he ended up being the foul cat too. So let me talk my shit. But anyways, he came. He was like, "Bro, I like the show. I want to invest." I'm like, all right, cool. Say less. I'll set up with Mikey from the radio shit. We set it up, and he's like, I want to invest in this, blah blah blah, and he's like, Mikey was like, cool, whatever. Dude leaves, and then the Mikey dude was like, oh man, nah, this. No, actually, right in front of him was like, nah, this is my baby. This blah blah blah. Like, I'm making all the shots, the calls, blah blah blah. Now, mind you, before this, I was doing commercials, you name it, for the radio stations.
Like drops?
Drops. Food commercials, too.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? And my name was Penguino at the time, Penguin.
Hey.
I walked with a little limp. So it was like everybody on the show had a nickname.
Okay.
Like your homies, you had a nickname, right? So I was doing commercials, everything. I wasn't getting paid, though.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So he was like, oh, there's no money in this. If you get an opportunity, take it. So when bruh came with, I want to invest in, he didn't really want to invest in the radio. He wanted to invest in my hot box shit.
Oh. So yours was like a part of his.
It was part of the I Am Radio shit. It was a show called The Hot Box.
Oh, okay.
And it was smoking, that shit like that, because I was super pothead at that time. And so dude was like, I want full control of everything. Dude was like, fuck, I'm putting up all this money. How you want? So we separated. Dude was like, what's it gonna take for you to do without him? I was like, damn, this is crazy. Now I'm in a bind. Like, he told me if an opportunity comes, I can take the shit. You feel me? So I was like, well, shit. He got all the equipment. I don't got nothing. He took like
Sorry, I'm on daddy duty.
Oh no,
it's all good.
That's we love that. We love present fathers.
Yeah, hell yeah. So he took like, I don't know, 10, 15 bands, just threw it on the table, and was like, "This is it. This is what you can do." I'm like, "Word!" Like, oh shit. I feel like I got a deal. You feel me? And I wasn't rapping at the time, not one rap ever. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna be on radio shit, because I knew how to be like, use the hot box on I Am Radio 24/7. You know what I mean? All that shit. So anyways, we went, got all the equipment. Bro, when I tell you everything top of the line, it was the illest Mac, the illest speakers, the blue mic at the time. Like, everything was top shelf, right? So I got that money, I mean, we got all that equipment and shit, and I had a 2-car garage. I moved my, it was a bedroom though, but they made it in there. Anyways, moved my family into the house, took that, made it into a 2-car garage, took my income tax money and built full blown studio. Like you fit a band in that bitch. Like
Nice.
the walls in that motherfucker was super thick. Like pause. Like for the sound, everything. Like our sound was immaculate. So because we had everything top of the line. So. And then when I hit dude up from the radio, like, yo, like, you know, this is what's going down. I'm doing this, bro, but let me get it going, and I'll bring you back in. He just blocked me on Facebook, and he just basically got in his feelings after telling me, if an opportunity comes, you take the shit. You feel me? And I'm like, I'm not going, somebody throwing me 10, 15 bands to, like, believe in me on what I got going on. And so, you know, pushed him to the side. All right, fuck it, you can do you. So then I started seeing cats rapping. I'm like, I got this in the studio. I'm like, I could do this. Like, I've always liked music, Nas, you name it, rapping and all that shit, but I never really tried it. Did little poems, you know, whatever. And then, you know, fast forward a little bit, I met like Shorty the Kid, this one cat. Well, Eddie first, and he showed me how to record a little bit. Then Sean B, I don't know if y'all know Sean B. Y'all gotta get Sean B. He a legend up in Merced legend too, bro. Good singing, all that
singer.
shit. He came, showed me some shit, and then you know, then I met Shorty, was like the first artist that I put on. But then even the dude that invested the money, I started wiggling. So I started showing up to shit by myself everywhere in Merced. Mind you, I'm not from Merced. I came here in 2001. Oh. So I was going everywhere by myself, you know, and pulling up the shit. And then we got an opportunity to, we were talking about bringing E40 to Merced. Dude gets wind of it. He calls me. He's like, oh, what's up with my money? You're going to open up for E40? What the fuck? Like, there ain't no money in this shit. Like that's not how this works. Then basically he's like, oh, just pay me back with the money for the computer. And I was like, you get that money when I fucking feel like giving it to you, whatever.
The guy who invested.
Because he pressed me while I'm at my family. Like, I don't play that shit. Like, he's like, oh, what's up with the money? Like, bro, I'm not playing you. This is what it is. You invested this shit. I asked you when I got my money, taxes, all that other shit, do you want it back? He's like, nah, I just put it back into the shit. That's what I did. Put like 5 bands into the booth and all this other shit. And yeah, so parted ways with that cat too, because he, you know, I got, you know, this Merced. Everybody knows us, and a lot of people fuck with us, and he tried to step on toes. And
but when that happened, like, I'm young. I'm only 17 at the time, you know, so like I'm kind of letting the OGs kind of do their thing. Like, they'll handle it. But he was always telling me at the time, like, hey, you need to come up with your own thing, like how Wiz has Taylor Gang. So I just always had that in the back of my mind. And then me and my homies.
Yeah, not to cut you off though, because at first we was called Native Movement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the dude was, I mean, He's mainly Indian. Puerto Rican, but my mom's half Native American, and then dude was half Native American. So I'm like, Native, because we're here in Merced and shit. It could be a double meaning. I was like, we call it Native Movement. That's what we gonna be.
Was that the first name?
That was the first name.
That was the first label. Yeah. A whole situation.
Native Movement, ENT or whatever. We had a logo.
So then when he said that, we were like in the middle of going through all of it. So he's like, you know, I want you to focus on what you doing, because I'm going to do something with you after we figure out what's going on here. So I'm like, all right. And me and my homies just go to parties, and we were just called Now Gen, Now Generation. Like, when people come in, they be like, oh, that's the Now Gen boys. You feel me? So, and that's just like at parties, just us fucking around, just being goofballs, you know? And then,
that was trending on Twitter.
And then, and this is like in the beginning of Twitter, like there's not too many people that even got it at this time. So we were just wilding out, young, spirited, you know, just partying wild. And he told me, he's like, that should be your shit. You know, that should be your thing, Now Gen. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, like, okay, we'll turn it into that. So then shortly after that, he parts ways with the business partner he had. And he asked me, he's like, what you think about doing like a you know, CEO, VP type thing with this? And I was like, oh, you're asking me to not just be a rapper, but be like a boss too? And I like that. You know, my grandma, she worked in the banking system my whole life. You know, my grandpa's a teacher. So I like to get my hands dirty when it comes to like the paperwork and all that shit. So as soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, I like that, you know, just to help me step up my game and actually learn the business side. And a lot of artists that we were around didn't really know that. So I felt like if I can learn it, then I can help other artists in my position as well. So then that's when NOOWGEN came about.
Yeah, because all they wanted, you know, most of these cats just want to rap. And I was trying to get people to, you know, be more than just rapping. Even with rap, I used to tell them all the time, you gotta be a chameleon. You gotta be able to rap on anything. You gotta be able, and then you gotta know the business, and that's why, I mean, he's one big one when we started doing like contracts and shit with artists. Even though it was contractual, like how many projects you was gonna finish as an artist and all that. It wasn't like money involved, obviously.
Yeah, it was like all
but
just
it was
regular
a structured type thing. But we did everything. We got them shows. They had free studio. Like when I met him finally, it was like, because when we first met him, he rapped. I ain't seen him for a little bit. Then when he came back, it was like, oh, you gonna be Native Movement now. You don't do shit, but stay here in this studio.
Yeah, I was on the bracelet at the time, so I was like a little badass kid, and he's like, look, I had just got kicked out of my house, you know, and that was my fault. It was me being a bad kid, and he's like, hey, what do I got to get you to do to, like, calm the fuck down, you know? Like, I'm like, well, shit, I ain't got nowhere really to stay. And he's like, well, you could stay here, but you got to go to school. Like, if you go to school, you could be in here and make music all day. Bet. Like, I was like, bet for sure. Like, yeah, that's the best deal you can make with a 17-year-old who just wants to rap all day. You know what I mean? Like,
it was eat, sleep, shit music. You know what I mean? Like, if that would show me if you really love this shit, I'm giving you an opportunity to do it 24/7. He learned how to record himself, do all that shit. And my background, I worked with kids for 15 years in group homes. So I knew how to, like, talk to kids and help them and do shit like that, even though, because I came from shit, nothing. So I know what it's like, because some people work in the group homes, they have no relation to these kids. They silver spoon, they went to college, they don't know shit about how these kids, what they've been through and all that. I do, for sure I did. So yeah, the whole thing was the talent was insane. And I've been saying it forever now. He's still Mount Rushmore, Merced, Tool 9. I would put him on there, like performing, rapping, singing, the fuck. It's insane. So, but that talent was like, I knew it. So I was like, wow, you ain't gonna do shit but this. And then we were getting him in shows at 17. We were getting them in clubs at 17.
I had homies getting mad at me.
Cats
we
was
walking
getting mad.
in the club,
Even
like,
cats on our
17,
squad.
like kids, well, not kids, they're of age. They're like 21, 24, 25. But I'm getting in the club because I have to perform, and the promoters started seeing me. Like, he's kind of pushing me as like a agent would push their star. You know, he's like, all right, everywhere we go, we're making sure he gets in no matter what. I played in strip clubs. I played in everything as a kid. So, but
I don't know if y'all know La Cascada.
He's just what we used to call it the chitlin circuit. You know, so like we're playing everywhere. Like, if they give us a show, we're doing it. And like I said, we would have homies getting mad, like, because they forget their ID, you know, and they're like, how the fuck is Johnny getting in? You know, I'm like, bro, he's putting me here, bro. I have no say so, and if I can get in or not.
The thing was too is like I was like, yo, you gotta get him in. Yeah. But everywhere we went, they knew Johnny already. They knew his skills, his talent, the music. They were like, yo, this motherfucker's dope.
But I never seen it that way.
If he was whack, we wouldn't have been getting in. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I tell you, a lot of times talent gets you far and that, but if you bust your ass and work hard, you get further. But a lot of time talent, like we've gotten in the spots just because like we was nice, we was good, and we mouthpieced it, pause, and talk to people and be like, let me get on this show. Like, some people think it's mad hard to get shows and all that other shit when it's really not. Inboxing motherfuckers, hitting people up, and we was like, all right, well, you know, we was doing what? Shows every weekend for months, 3 shows years. A weekend. Like, we would take whatever, bro. We were driving all the ways to like Berkeley to Oroville. I don't even know what the hell that shit is, bro. Like, but they paid us with fat ass nugs of weed, nice. Colas, bro. Like, but we did it just because it was like, I remember, I think it was the first, like, we knew Weed Maps before it was Weed Maps. These cats was coming to these shows and was like, yeah, we get ready to invent this shit.
Launch
It was
app,
Weed Maps.
little stuff like
That's
that.
crazy.
Bro, it was shit like that.
And then when it came out, me and him were like, "Hey, man, these fools were telling us this at the
And
show."
what was your reaction when they were telling you that?
We were just like, "Oh, that sounds fire," because
Yeah,
there
they
was
were
nothing like that at the time. So
Yeah.
we're thinking like,
They're like, yeah, it's just going to show you the location to all the dispensaries and this and that. We're like, all right, cool. Because at the time, a lot of shit was just medical. Because we've been doing this shit, what, with 2025? Like since 2010 at least. Right?
no,
Right?
before that, because remember
Yeah.
I showed you the picture of us doing YG in 2008.
Oh, the YG had, when YG had the tooted and booted.
Yeah.
So been doing this shit for a long time. So, but that was my thing to them. I don't give a shit how big or small the show is. We're doing it because it's not just about doing the show. It's the connections.
Yeah.
Okay, just play the switch for right now, okay, baby? Sorry, y'all.
They're good. You're saying the connections for the shows. That was a
Connection
big
is
part of
more
it.
important than money for a lot of the times. Like you can do this for so long. I mean, y'all been doing it for a while now too. I bet you probably get frustrated sometimes. Like, damn, we doing this. We spending way more money. We put more money into it
Bro.
than this and that.
Like at this point, we're just
But
like,
That's just
you
toxic to think
in the
about it now.
At one
Yeah.
point, you kind of get discouraged a little bit on it. But shit, we would lose money going to shows because we have gas, food,
yeah.
Sometimes
weed,
hotels,
drink,
yeah.
hotels, you name it.
Yeah.
And it was the connections. Like there's dudes like when we ended up doing Now Fests and shit like that. Like SOB's the bodyguard when he came, I didn't remember that he knew me. He's like, yeah, bro. I remember. I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember you, bro. Like we made connections over the years of like they knew we was dope and you know that's how we got on some songs. I mean some shows. Did we
Yeah.
pay for shows? Hell yeah. In the beginning I would, depending on what show it was. Like if it was definitely worth competitions, did we pay for it? What? And did he go and kill him and win? One of them he didn't, which was bullshit, and I lost it. Like
He lost
I was
his
like, bro, this
mind.
shit's crazy.
Like I lost, I was just like, all right, cool. Like it is what it
fuck
is.
that.
There's
It was
immediately
in Berkeley.
He's like they say the other person beat me, and he's like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
hell, like
was
you
all
just hear like a pin dropper. You just hear him, and I'm like,
yeah.
and I got all the homies there too. They got NOOWGEN
We
sweaters
was all
on.
now
I'm like,
ginned out too, like hoodies. you
but
name
it was cool. Like I got third place in that competition, so it wasn't like I didn't place or anything. It was just
like if you would have got beat,
you know how you. I'm
would've
sure
said
if you
it.
guys were in a competition together, and then or one of you guys in the competition, and you see when your homies lose, you're like, nah, he had that. Like you know,
Yeah,
so,
like,
yeah.
I can name a moment.
Yeah,
exactly.
especially if you know he won. Like, come on, you could be.
That was the one thing that
That was a
I will
no-brainer.
say in that competition where like the person I was going against, they like stumbled and everything during our round.
shit.
And even like the security guard, he walked up to me, he goes, "You got this." And I'm like, so I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna go to the next round. Like I already picked like the song I was gonna do in the next round, and then they picked Dude, and I was just like, I just lost with grace. I just went up to him and said, "Hey man,
I think
hopefully-"
Equipto
I was
was
like,
the
go
headliner.
win it all." And then he got blazed by a female. So
Yeah.
I was like, the female artist ate him up.
But I think Equipto was the headliner for
happens.
that event. Y'all
Yeah,
know who
Equipto-
Y'all know who
yeah.
Equipto is,
No,
right?
no, who's that?
Man,
He-
I'm
he
telling
a- he
you,
a
you
big
saying
legend.
artists that are not from their
He
generation.
a Bay legend. He had a lot of. He made a couple albums with
Andre Nicotine. and
Mike
stuff
Marshall.
Like that.
Mike Marshall's the dude that I got 5 on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like no, Crypto was. I think he's more into politics type shit now, but like,
Nah, he's a very lyrical
but
rapper, though.
he's
dope.
like one of them. Yeah. So
San
yeah,
Francisco legend.
hundreds and hundreds of shows that we've done for show. There's been shows where we're just like, just let Johnny do a song. Like we'd show up and like, what the fuck's going on? We not just let Johnny do a show. At least let him do a song and shit. So it's just a grind, bro. That's what it is, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Right on. I mean, when you've come this far, why not? Why stop at? Why stop now?
Right, because the next day some shit might happen that you just don't, you know what I mean? And then it's on that too, is like we like y'all, like we find talent, or we met y'all from Rob, but I knew that shit was from like
Right.
that show, the moment that what was the no filter
Yeah,
shit,
No
right?
Filter.
Like even the rehearsal shit. Cause I went and then to the rehearsal shit.
Is that where we met you? It's the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time
that's
we
where I
met.
was.
Yeah.
We met him.
I was in
Everybody
LA.
was cool. Everybody, for the most part, everybody was cool at meeting me, and then that shit at that event. It was like a few cats that just kind of wanted to act like they was they wanted to just play the side or whatever, and it is what it is. But I see talent right away. You know, I mean, I seen that with y'all. Like even at the No Filter, y'all had that shit turned up with the crowd and shit. I'm like, why are these motherfuckers in the headliners?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
I'm told you I was gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah.
And I've told him that, like, I think Trav Murray or somebody was the headliner for that one, but I was like, nah, these motherfuckers should have been the headliner. Like, even me being from Mercedes, as long as I've been rapping and shit, I had some people come out, but I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers should have been the headliner. You know what I mean? And that's why when NowFest came around, that next
year
or whatever it was, I was like,
yeah.
Oh, y'all need to get on it. And that's why, and then
Yeah,
even
yeah.
with Ace, like, oh, Ace, we need Ace, he gonna co-host. And
Yeah.
Drew and Aztec, Aztec, we got a song from years ago that we gassed together and shit like that.
How'd you
But,
meet Aztec?
I think it was social media or some
back in
shit.
the day, because it was a
Yeah,
long time ago.
it was back in the
when
day.
we
It
were
was
on
social
Yosemite
media. Like,
stuff.
I don't know who hit who. He might have hit me, and I mean, because we was pushing the line on everything, bro. Like the Hotbox radio show on Hot 104.7 was over a year and a half long, where it was just every Sunday midnight to 1, and we played all local people shit.
Nice.
We used to go to Maria's and listen to that shit at Maria's, and at that time we was playing. I think we played one of his shits on there. So
Aztec,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And then so I've known him for a long time, and he was doing it, and I didn't see him for a little bit, and then now I've been pushing the line for a while now. And y'all got y'all squad and shit, like y'all, Drew, Ace, and I even see Valley Biz fucking with y'all and shit like that
we
too.
We
like,
met at Valley Biz at NowFest.
Oh,
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's dope.
So no, it's always good. Like if I see talent and they want to work, we gonna fuck with y'all. Like
Yeah, man. I feel like right now there's a lot of local people. Everybody local is like collaborating right now.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
dope.
never happened.
Which is
No?
dope.
No, for sure not
we
from
was,
our era.
We was the only ones doing that like 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I do a project and I would have everybody.
Every
on
hood,
it.
every hood.
Every
But
hood.
that's what, like, even now Fest was brought upon from that, was like, all right, how do we get everyone in the city to fuck with each other? Because at that time, no one was fucking with each other. Like it was the music scene was very gangster rap oriented. You feel me? So it's a lot more hood rappers. So you got a lot of politics with that, so me and him just being natural, like host, we would host a lot of these guys at parties and stuff, or they would be at shows. We would bump shoulders and we would say, hey, like, we know you don't like dude over there or whatever, but like, what if we can set up a situation where y'all can all be in the same room and everybody's getting money together, everybody's drinking, everybody's smoking, everybody's just chilling. Performing, you get, because every hood got a rapper in it, so we were like, we'll put your homie on, and we'll get them some type of publicity. We were working with 104.7 at the time, so at that time they're like a powerhouse in the valley, so to be able to not only just put them on a show, but then put them on an actual radio show where they're getting some spins, that kind of opened us up, like I said, to a broader audience, where now we got hood people, the squares, the college kids, everybody's mingling, and then now we see where it's at now, and we're just like, oh, you guys put it on steroids. You know what I mean? Your guys' generation, now we're seeing everybody rock with each other. And I'm like, I love seeing that, because before it was a lot of people at each other's necks, and me and him always try to avoid that. Sometimes it's unavoidable. You will get people that'll say stuff about you on a record or something like that, and you might have to address it. But for the most part, we stay out of those type of beefs, because
because
it don't really
the politics of the street shit, like I'd always tell them, And being that I'm from the East Coast, so I came in with I learned it as I went. You know what I'm saying? But I was still, y'all motherfuckers just never put me in no box. Like, I fuck with who I want to fuck with. If you don't like that, then it is what it is. Like, I had a whole mixtape called Embosser that had Bloods, Crips, you name it on that shit. And was trying to unite that shit. But music is powerful. Like, like I said, we've done shows where there was Bloods, Crips. At Now Fest, you had Northerners, you had all kind of cats at these shows, and nothing happened. You know what I mean? So, but and it was, I guess it's who throws it as well too. Because some shit you've seen certain shows go bad or whatever. But with us, we've knock on wood and shit. We've always been blessed to like bring motherfuckers together and all that. And shout out to Scandalous though when he did that Check Game remix shit. I don't know if y'all ever seen that
Scandalous
shit.
DeLeon,
like he did a Check Game. He had a song called Check Game, but he did the remix and he had like everybody on that. Yeah, Bloods, Crips, you name it, from Merced.
Different hoods, and then
in the video too.
And in the video is people in everyone's sections, which is crazy. Like that. That's what I mean. Our era was different. Like, a lot of people were just kind of standoffish. Even if they thought you were tight, they probably would have never said it. You know.
Right.
And then not to harp back on when like you guys were saying when you guys met, he's hit me up in L.A. like, hey, he just puts Slowburncrew, and I'm like, what the fuck you texting me, fool? And he's like, these motherfuckers are dope. He's like, you gotta check them out. I'm like, send me their shit. He sends me a couple links. I'm like, oh, okay, these little niggas is tight. Like, I was right away.
It was the energy
and then
I
think I seen a recap of you guys performing, and I was like, oh, they do it like me, cause like I get hyped, bro. I'll probably be chill when you see me, but like on stage, I let it all out, you know.
You gotta love
and
I
seen y'all doing that, and I was like, oh, I already love them right away. Like just seeing that, cause I'm big on that performance and being like an entertainer is like, I loved watching how you guys did it. Like, and then even when I've been at shows after hearing about you guys, just seeing your guys' chemistry out there and shit like that, like. That goes a long way with me because it just shows that you guys actually care about the craft of the performance arts.
Some cats will turn
like
up
that,
more to other people's music than their own shit. That shit makes no sense to me. I can understand, enjoy other people's shit, bob to that, whatever, but you shouldn't be turning up more to other people's music than your own shit when you're performing it. Like, that shit's kind of crazy to me. But I wanted to ask y'all because when I seen Rob at the pub that one day, he told me y'all had a different squad name or something like that. Y'all had different names and shit. Yeah. Did y'all ever talk about that on here or no?
Yeah, we talked a few times.
Okay, well, what was it?
So me and this fool used to have 3 other fools with us. It used to be 5.
Okay.
It was a group of 5.
Yeah.
Group of 5 high schoolers who just wanted to rap. Just you guys know the dream. You guys know how it is at that age.
Yeah.
So it was some of my homies, it was his homies, and we just got together and we were trying to think of a name. Like, what do we call ourselves? We didn't even know what the fuck to call ourselves. Yeah. Like, let alone our name. What the fuck is the Grew name? So, and then the homie Mac G, actually, he gave us the name The Epidemics. He's like,
okay, that's what it was. Yeah, I was trying to.
He's like, give it it's like epidemics is y'all about to take it over. Like, you're about to go, this epidemic. And then we were just like, that's hard.
Oh shit! The epiphany moment.
Yeah, and it was at that moment where it was like, okay, now it's not just like rapping. Like, now there's like something for it. It's a fucking brainchild that we all fucking culminated together.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, it was dope, man. Like, since the beginning, we got the name. I started working on the logo. We had a logo, and then it was beautiful.
Yeah.
What was the rap names though? Because he told me that, but I couldn't remember. I was a little tipsy too that night.
At this point, I was just producing.
Okay.
So I went by, I don't think I had a name when we first made the Epidemics. My first producer name was Profound.
Okay.
Produced by Profound.
And then you was just rapping, or?
Yeah, I was just rapping at the time. Learning what I can from him when he was producing.
Yeah.
Everything I know is because of him.
Right.
So I was going by The Confidential.
Okay.
That was also another name that Mac gave me too. He said, because I was like, what do I call myself? I was gonna go my first official rap name. Like, I was like, this is gonna be my rap name. It's like before I even dropped any type of song or nothing. I was just freestyling with the homies walking home, it was a Master Disaster, 90s ass fucking hip hop name,
Oh yeah, my first rap name was fucking Mr. Flames.
I was about to say it.
That was horrible.
I was like, I'm glad you said it. I was like, don't make me say it.
This shit was horrible as fuck. I was like, then
nah, tell them what that one. There was a
guy was like, yo, Flames. I was like, Flames, like you're a flamer. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? They were like, oh, that means like you're, because I'm from PA. I don't know that. They were like, oh, that means like you're gay or some shit. I'm like, what? I mean, I took forever. Like I sat in the studio. I named myself because I was like, the homie used to always call me the General.
Oh shit!
Right? Like he's like, oh, you're the General. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm gonna put this, and I just started like acting like G.O.T.M stands for General of the Movement. Oh. And that's how I got it. I was sitting in the studio like that. I was like, that's what my fucking name's gonna be. And then the same homie used to always call me Belichick, like, cause I went by got him first. Well, Mr. Flames, then got him, and then the homie used to call me Belichick. You're Belichick. You're always putting plays together. I was hosting every fucking show. I was, we were throwing our own shit, all that. She was like, you're Belichick. You're Belichick. So then I just got him Belichick. And that's where, but we all start with some kind of fucking name, so to speak. I mean, I don't know what you had in the very beginning.
When I was young, because I started doing music when I was 11. So it was right before You Got Served came out. And there's like it's funny because there's a character on there named Little Saint or whatever. And I was going by that before the movie came out. So then the movie comes out and all my cousins are making fun of me. They're like, you can't go by that no more because he's already famous now. I'm like, damn.
And think about it. You think that shit's hard, right? I'm like, yo,
I was writing it down on papers and shit. Yeah. Like I thought I had the best name. You feel me? And because he remembers back when I was a kid, I mean, that was way before I met him. But even when I met him, I wasn't cursing in any of my raps. So
he wasn't smoking nothing.
I didn't smoke. I didn't do anything. So Little Saint was perfect. Like it was like it fit my image. But then, as soon as I seen that, I just didn't even have a rap name all the way up until like high school because I played basketball. A lot of the people that I played basketball with on my team would just call me Johni Boi just for like a regular nickname. Like, hey, Johni Boi, pass me the ball, And then I was like, all right, I'm going to be Johni Boi. And I was hella into Fresh Prince at the time in high school. So I'm like, I'm going to be Johni Boi the Prince. And then that was like my first actual like rap name. That's where he met me. I was
on that what was that? What
the
was
jerking
era.
That's during like very bright colors. I was a totally different artist then.
Dougie shit and whatever.
He swears by this one record that I had that never came out. It was called Dork. And like even my best friend was on that song. And he's like my best friend. He's like a lyrical dude. Like you feel me? So he got me on Kendrick, J. Cole, all these guys, and he was on that record. And I told him, I was like, Jimmy always swears that if we would have put that record out, we would have popped. And he was like, hey man, he was probably right because that jerky shit was popping back then.
The beat slap, and instead of calling it the jerk or this and that, he called it the dork. So he was kind of going with his whole like what do you call it? Like what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Like you was going with the whole nerd type vibe.
Yeah, it was like a nerd.
It was like a nerd vibe.
Not taking myself serious, very self-deprecating.
But it was one of them ones that never got put out.
Yeah, but it never came out. And he swears all the time. He's like, you would have blew. And I'm like, I mean, we'll never know now.
YG had Tooted and Booted, right?
Yeah.
Now you don't never see YG do anything like Tooted and Booted ever again, right? You know what I'm saying?
He just got that one record.
Bloodwalk, fuck Donald Trump and all that other shit. Yeah. That was just that's what got him into the door and shit. And it was that era, no.
But that's what I like about your guys' era. Like you can be yourself. There's no there's no box you have to be in. And luckily we already were fighting against that when we were coming up, so we're like, well, fuck it, hopefully the tide will change eventually. And it did, like for the better though, because like a lot of artists weren't really able to be themselves back then. I think
a lot of it was because we kind of grew up on SoundCloud era type shit, so it was a lot of like mixing. At this point, everybody was mixing genres together, like conscious shit, trap shit, fucking EDM was, everything was like culminating into one subgenres on subgenres.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I think everything was way more acceptable to be whatever the fuck you wanted to be.
Yep, for sure. And
Right.
I like that you said that SoundCloud era, because a lot of the era coming out of that, I mean, a lot of music coming out of that era was a lot like that, just like free expression, you know, opposed to like I'm trying to get this idea or this certain, I don't know, like topic out. Like it's really just about how you're feeling at that moment, or you know. And I love that because I feel like you grow in records like that. You know, you grow with yourself. I was just talking to somebody right before this. I was listening to, because I got a record dropping tonight called March Madness 4, and on one of the records, I don't usually like give too much of myself. Like as far as like I like to be like more playful. I make records to like, you know, people can vibe to, be happy with, you know. But there's one record on there called Larry Bird where like, you know, I'm talking about like my grandmother passing away and being in the garden looking at my daughter as she's like walking by and shit, and just real shit that I don't usually talk about, you know. But I felt just like we're in a time now where it's like, who cares if I talk about this, you know? Like,
so was there an energy where if you talked about your personal like situation, was looked down upon?
I think for me, I just always like, he made me like accept the not the role, but of like I embrace it. It's with like the entertainer, the high energy. I know that I'm here to make people feel good, you know. And sometimes, like I have a bunch of songs where I'm like really showing my, like wearing my heart on my sleeve, you know. And those are the ones he's talking about where he's like, just put it out, like, you know. But I just like having fun. So sometimes I just don't want to depress people, or, you know, like, or that's where I think about it. But a lot of the times when I play those records for people, they're like, why isn't this out? You know, you could be helping somebody.
It's a more relatable thing when you touch subjects on, like even the song that we did. When I talk about my mom being sick or whatever like that, and just giving bars, or like the we gotta make it on our
when he mentioned his mom being sick,
I was like, I mentioned my mom. I mentioned my mom on that one too. My
Yeah.
kids, the baby mama drama bullshit and all that shit. So that record was kind of aimed for that, like, because when we did the album, it was all more of a sports up tempo, like gritty type shit. But in that sports shit, you know, we put a song that was about, we gotta make it. Like,
we got
Baby Gas was on it. Aubrey
persevere.
Michael, shout out to Aubrey. He sang the shit out of that song, like, and it was, I think it was just a uplifting song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and let people know, like, Baby Gas spit his shit. He spit about his daughter and everything like that. So a lot of times people want to relate to you, right? They want to, like, if we're doing most of like the have fun, turn up shit, that's cool or whatever, and people want to hear that. But then also there's people that want to hear that what you went through type shit, you know what I mean? So they can relate to it as well. So
yeah, and I've gotten better at that, just opening up about stuff like that. As of the last few projects I've been, I'll like drop one or two in
and singing records that he does, like,
that's where I feel like I'm most
vulnerable.
open. I'm most open. I can be vulnerable when I'm singing because you know how rap is. It's very either competitive. Even though you're competing with somebody, you're always competing with yourself to like, I gotta be hard on this. I gotta, you know. So I think I do that a lot with myself. Like I'm like, you gotta spit something dope that's gonna catch people's attention. Where when I come at it singing, it's not like that. It's just like, all right, how do I capitalize on this emotion I'm feeling, and how do I come up with the best way to say it? So I'm trying to transfer some of that energy into rap to where I'm not taking myself so serious.
And I think as an artist too, like, I mean, I've done a few like singy type harmonizing hooks and shit like that, but I've even tried to sing on shit like years ago. My homie Mill Ticket, shout out Mill Ticket, we used to have hook nights. We would just be in the studio and just do hooks, put beats on, make hooks, and then go back later for verses. Like they call them hook nights, and I would do that shit. Like, you know, but it's like we were going back to like what artists, like, you got, like, it's now so open that you don't have to just rap. You can sing, you can harmonize shit. You can do, like, me and him got a country record that we're working on with a dude that I was telling you about, the William Belly cat.
Shout
out to him. He's dope. And there's another dude named Barry Hendricks. Look him up he's a black dude from LA. Tats, gold grip, but he's singing like
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical
all
Romance
that.
and
Yeah.
shit like that, where I'm just watching this dude like, yo, this is dope as shit.
Yeah.
People are not as in this box are scared to do that type of shit, and that shit's dope as fuck. Like I like seeing the progression of art, even artists around here. Like you should want to like progress because if you imagine rapping for 10 years and then you rap the same as you did 10 years from, you know what I mean? Like E40, look at E40, he's so dope that he just stand the test of times and switched his shit up all the time.
Yeah. When you were singing, man, was that always when you were starting? You was always ready to sing.
I sang before I started rapping. I was singing in school, and in choir. In elementary school, I was singing in choir. My tia took me to church, like most tias from the hood. You coming to church with me today, you know? And then I fell in love with the choir. Just like, oh, okay. I've just always been in love with music, so like. I'm seeing the choir and I'm like, hey, how can I get in this? And she's like, I'll put you in there. I'll sign you up. So then I do that for a little while. I think choir kind of knocked off the stage fright, you know, like you're with this group of people, and then my choir instructor would like teach us like, if you're feeling nervous up here, just look at the clock in the back, you know, and just sing the song to your best ability. And for the first couple of times, I would do that because I get so nervous as a little kid being up there. And then once I got confident enough to like actually like enjoy myself, the choir instructor started calling on me to do like solos, and I'm like, no, like I'm the oldest of 5, but I'm not used to the attention. I'm used to giving the attention to my siblings. So immediately, like when he's calling on me, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do this. But they kind of pushed it out of me, and then. From that, I didn't really take singing serious because there wasn't really an avenue for me there. Like I couldn't like get in a studio and sing. But like I was saying back then, there was a gangster rap scene where there was a big studio in Merced, but I couldn't get in there if I didn't rap, you know. So one day I enter into the competition in my junior high, my 8th grade talent show. I win. And it's singing. I was singing Chris Brown, Yo. And then I win that. And a rapper from my school that goes to that studio was like, I need you to sing on one of my hooks. And I was like, for sure, I need you to teach me how to write a 16. And as soon as he said that, he was like, bet. We switched. And yeah, it was. I got addicted after that. Like I was like, okay, I'm a rap too. I actually put down singing for a while and then picked up rap. And then one day I sing for this fool, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why haven't we been doing this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't think anyone wanted to hear that from me." Well, I had a song that caught back in the day called "Ratchet Party," which is a rap song. So we kind of just kept pushing that, feeding the people what they wanted.
I think Mona Lisa was like
the first singing song I think where we tried,
song,
yeah,
which is still to like,
which was on the same project,
fire.
Which it's on the same project, but that was like me kind of testing the waters. Like if I can sing and get away with it, we'll see if we'll do it on the next one. And slowly but surely, I would add like 1 song, 2 songs, and then eventually I got to the point where I was like, just do a whole project singing, man. Like, and if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, and that was my first project singing all the way. It's called Nice Guys Finish Last. And it's got a little bit of everything.
What year is that?
I want to say 2020 or 2021. So it took me
it's pretty recent.
Yeah. It took me a while to finally get to the point where I was like, all right, I'm just going to release a whole body of it, But I knew, like, because my inspirations are like Michael Jackson, Prince, Tom Petty, Kid Rock. So there's a bunch of like people that play instrumentation, that sing. They do everything hands on. I don't play instruments, but like I like to think that my voice is my instrument and the way I perform is like my instrument. So I just try to emulate as much as I can channel out of those kind of people, like those legends, and kind of make whatever I got going on, when that's all those artists is what makes like my singing style. It doesn't. I can't really pinpoint exactly what my singing style is because I like to do a bunch of different shit. But I do love singing. It's actually been my little safe haven for the last few years because, like I said, it gives me a little break from rap.
Yeah. You could definitely tell. I took a listen to one of them that's not even out no more, I think.
Oh, okay.
It was maybe 2 years ago. It was a Pink cover. I think it was My Queen.
Oh, yeah. That's out. That's
I
out.
took a
That's
listen
out.
to that one, and I was blown away.
Thank
I
you,
was
brother.
like,
That
wow.
Be Mine one too.
Thank you, brother.
It was
No, go ahead. My bad. I cut
it
you
was
off.
it was such a unique way of singing to me that it's like it's not what everybody else was singing on. Like it was a different approach to it, and it felt very artistic. It felt like you were describing right now, those older artists, the Prince, the Michael Jackson, because they were ready to push boundaries anytime they were doing records. And I was able to hear that with your voice because it's not that you're just singing like in one Johni Boi Lopez fucking tone. You're experimenting with it. I hear it, and you're hitting different tones and different voices in there as well.
Thank you, bro.
And I really appreciate the art form in that.
Thank you,
and
bro.
that's dope, man.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Yeah, I just grew up listening to a lot of good music with my family playing music around me. So I think that really started the trend of me just falling in love with singing. You know, I listened to so much just R&B and pop and country and rock. And it's crazy. I didn't know I was going to be doing what I do today with growing up as a kid. But every time I look back at a memory, I'm like, dude, I was literally doing music the whole time. Like, I might have had a basketball in my hand at some points, but God has always put me around the music. So now I've had full circle moments like where my mom's in the crowd and there's thousands of people out there, and I'll try to tell her like, come to the back with me, you know, like I don't want people making fun of me because I ain't got my mom back here, you know, because you pull up with your mom and she out there in the crowd, she could be back here with me, but she's like, nah, I want to watch how people react to you, you know, so she likes being in the middle of the crowd. She might have like her homegirl with her, you know, but she's sitting there watching it like as it's going down. And those have been probably the better moments of it, like to know that like, okay, because me and my mom are always good. She's one parent raising 5 of us, you know, so and like I was telling y'all before, I was a little bit of a knucklehead growing up, so that I didn't make it easy on her. So for her to see these moments where like I'm singing and I'm rapping and just having fun on stage, the journey is definitely worth it. You know, I'm glad that I took a shot on whatever things I did take a shot. Like, I'm glad I have him to push me and always tell me like, nah, fuck that. Cause he'll tell you I'm my biggest enemy. You know, I get in my head a lot, you know, but I'm grateful for him. And then my daughter's a super big motivating factor. Like once she was born, it was over. Like I stepped it up a million times more as an artist. I'm sure he can tell you like there was something that just grew inside me as a man, but also as an artist. Like I'm like, all right, it doesn't matter if I'm as big as Kendrick or Drake or anything. I just got to give that effort. You know, give the effort like I want to be somebody like that. And eventually I know that it'll unfold naturally, you know. Yeah. The universe will bring that to me. And that was all drive from her. Like literally her being born. Like I was just like, all right, I want to step it up like tenfold. And I know he can identify with that. He got 2 of his own, and I've watched them. Like when me and him met, his firstborn was 3 years old. She's 18 now.
She'll be graduating in June.
Going to college, doing it like so. It's we done watch each other really grow in life and stuff like that. But having each other to motivate each other and push each other, and you know, even when we're down at our lowest, and just say like, "Hey, bro, you got this." You know, that's what I love about what you guys got. You feel me? I'm sure you guys had those moments too, where you guys are telling each other like, hey man, let's just keep pushing, man. No matter, it doesn't matter what.
You can find motivation anywhere. You just gotta look for. You gotta just be open-minded to
and
find
like-minded individuals that
got
really
like
believe.
When I say hundreds of songs recorded, that Steph has That shit's an understatement. It's crazy. Because when we did the project, I was like, let's just do the Brady Belgic. I'm not gonna do another album. I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm just gonna do singles. Because 2024, when I put like 5 singles, and I did. Then we did the Brady Belichick. I'm already like 5-6 songs deep into another album already. Like I'm like I wasn't gonna do that. You know what I mean? So the motivation comes from that. Even the couple songs on our album, the Don Rods for my nephew. My nephew is.
Just swipe it away, baby. Okay. She said a gnat is bothering her.
Oh hell, we gotta go jump that gnat.
She's used to it. She live in the country with me, so she know what that's about.
But yeah, like the song Don Rod, that's I wrote that for my nephew who's going D1. And his inspired me because he's a beast. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna go D1. He wants to be the first Rican DB in the NFL. So when it just boom, I found the beat. I was like, I'm doing that. Then the first track on the album was that was off my stepson and my nephew and them. They're working out and doing all this other stuff. Then that was like. So you'll find motivation. It's just gotta keep it going, and mental health is a big thing, right? Like we all know that. We gotta speak on that shit because there's days I wake up I don't want to do shit, but I know I got to. You know what I mean? Like it could come from all different mental health, and men don't speak on it a lot. You see a lot, like especially in hip hop communities and shit like that. We have to speak on that. Like,
well, and then there's bully culture out there too on the internet. You know, you say you put out something good, and then you got your normal homies showing you love, but then you got people that don't even know you just go on there and just rip you apart, you know. And we know as artists too, like
trolls.
you don't even really got to trip off of it, but we're human. Sometimes it does. Some of those things seep through, you know. And we do care about our and we care about ourselves, you know, on a just like a regular human level. So the best thing for us is always just, like I said, relying on each other, knowing like, even if they don't fuck with it, it's okay. We fuck with it, and we're working from a genuine place in our heart. So we know that eventually, you know, even if they don't see it, somebody else will, and, you know, it's for them. We realize that we're not for everybody, you know, nor are we trying to be, you know. We're just trying to be the best that we can be, and if people fuck with it, then they fuck with it. Those are usually the people that I gravitate towards, you know, people that aren't trying to, like, you know, go seek validation. They're just being themselves naturally, you know. Like that's what you guys do, you know. That's what you know, like an Ace, you know, Mac, the Dragon, all you guys, man. You guys all have your own thing. Nobody's copying each other or hating on each other, or, you know, you guys are all even inspiring each other too, you know. I feel like we need a lot to, you know, keep that energy going, you know, because there's a lot of trolls on the internet that just want to see people be miserable. You know, they want to bring you down. They want to stop you from that creativity. There's been so many times where I'm about to make something, and then somebody's hating about something, and I'll talk to him about it, and he's like, "Man, don't let it get you down." And I'm like, "Man, I was just about to record right now," and then this pops up, you know. But but he always just keeps it in mind. Go to the studio, still do it.
Internet is there for. You know, you could be whatever you want on the internet. It's a lot of fake shit, and that's why I don't pay no mind to it. I just had a chick this morning follow me, comment on a video where I was sharing all my local clothes there from people and shit, and she was like, "Oh, this is disgusting." this is. I'm like, "Bitch, what?" And the way she spelled it out, I just shot back at her like, speak English, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? And then I realized, like, I was trolling her too, because I'm big with that. I'll troll the shit out of you.
He's big on that. Like, he'll go back and forth with people.
Yeah. I'll troll you and laugh about it.
If I'm going back and forth with somebody, they must have really pissed me off.
Yeah,
you know,
I just
like,
be trolling.
You might fuck around, hop on Instagram the next day, you see Bottoms in the whip.
No,
listen, everybody, what it do?
Yeah.
And I just know he's about to say some shit.
For sure.
After I did all that, I was like, speak English and like spell check. And I was just, you know, going in, and then she's like, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you're Riri, hey, and I'm like, I don't even speak English, so I just blocked her. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't even know. I don't even know what the point of.
I'll block you for my piece all day.
Like you follow me.
Like you
follow me. Like I don't go out of my way to like. It be certain shit, you know. You'll see on Thizzler, because Thizzler just be promoting anything. I was telling Drew that they be promoting anything, and I'd be like, yo, y'all. And you know, it is what it is. Like little 2 bands, like let him get his money, whatever it is. But come on, bro. Yeah. But I'd be like, man, that for the most part, I'm like, they know what Thizzler know what they doing. They not promoting them because they think they dope. No. They promoting them because they trying to make people clown on them and do all this other shit. You know what I mean? Even if he's getting that 2 bands, Thizzler's. They not. It's not
clocking more than 2 bands off of it.
It's not the right intention. You feel me? Like that's what they do. I'm like. Thizzler and a lot of these outlets where I be seeing some of them, I'm like, I sit there sometimes, I tell them too, I'm like, these motherfuckers don't ever put us up on there. Like, and we been doing this for moons. Yeah, and but we've been doing like Stop the Violence music festivals, you know, everything like that. But I tell them, we've never done it. Even when, so for instance, years ago, I used to put polls up on Facebook and be like, yo, who's the dopest rappers in Merced and blah, 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 blah. And there used to be polls and people would get whatever. Now, I created a poll that I actually had taken down, but this particular artist, you don't even deserve to be named who it is, he was in his feelings about a poll that I had already taken down and was mad about this. He gets in there, he's like, I don't do this shit for, like, validation and polls or awards or none of that. We do this because we love it.
Call him like, look what the fuck you started.
We do this because we love it, but I was doing that just to see, okay, if I can see who's got a buzz out here, then that's who we're going to be like, yo, I want to get on shows or whatever. It's either I do it like that, or I watch social media, or I go to shows and I see how I met y'all. But, like, some of these cats, they need that type of validation. If we needed that, we would have been done a long time ago because there's certain shit. Like, Thizzler picked me up years ago when I did Babbage-Aholic with D-Lo. They needed us at the time. They don't need us no more. You know what I mean? It was all over Thizzler on the front page of the website, all over social media.
Well, that's the thing. Platforms like that, they're going to pick up whatever they feel is hot. You know at the time, whether, you know. So I never really get too bent out of shape for stuff like that. It really, like, I just, because maybe I'm on the management side of it now, I just really care if the artist is being taken care of, you know, if their content isn't just being used just for the machine to make money off of them while the artist is making pennies, because we already make pennies as it is, you know. So you get a lot of these guys,
shit is ridiculous.
like how he was saying with the Bad Gunna Kid, you know, with the 2 bands. All we can do is hope that whoever's managing him or whoever's doing it is taking care of him right, because companies will come in and take advantage of people.
Yeah, like them outlets will do it.
You know, they'll do it quick. They'll do it with artists that seem like they know what's going on, but they really don't. You know, so that's one thing that's why I got into the management side, because I've had so many homies that they'll show me some shit and they're like, oh yeah, they talking this, and I'm like, damn, they're trying to fuck you. They're trying to get you to sign for years, like 10 years, and like, who's gonna do that in today's society? You know, like that makes no sense.
Your artist, your longevity as an artist, even if it's a local buzz or like regional buzz, 10 years is insane, because
we don't know what can happen in that 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. You know? You cook, like, you know, once you get to that, like I would say the Acitos, the GBs, the Ricos, the J-Bos, whoever, all them cats. When that buzz, you got to capitalize off that buzz, or you're just going to end up just being that regional type of dude. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it. You'll still get your bread, but like 10 years is fucking insane. Whose longevity stays hot for 10 years, right?
It's not too many. I mean? It's not too many that's going to have a long run like that. So you got to really know how to work these deals, or, you know, and it's not always like deals. It could just be something as simple as a video, you know, that you're putting out, and you try to come up with a mutual agreement on how you're going to do the video and how you're going to put it out and whose page you're going to put it on and how are we going to split. And then somewhere along the line, like I said, the machine usually will just be like, well, this is ours. And I don't like that. Like, I like, if we're going to come together and do business together, let's make it mutual grounds, 50-50. And, you know, let's eat.
Imagine they're just the platform. You are the brains of the whole thing.
If they didn't like your content, they wouldn't be sitting with you. They wouldn't be talking to you. So my big thing is just letting the artist know, like, you do have leverage, you do have power. You just have to let them know that you know that. Because if not, they'll just hand you whatever, and you're going to be sitting there later like, damn, I'm signed for 10 years, and now I can't do nothing. But then I see all these other artists, they're getting a bigger bag than I was offered, and they're free to do whatever they want. Well, that's because of whoever negotiated
like
their
albums
deal.
And shit.
Yeah.
I own 8 albums.
I've had homies I still have homies that are in deals that I'm just like, damn, I feel bad for them, because if they fall out with whoever runs their business, they'll just shelf them. Yeah. And they'll sit there. They'll put out content, but nobody's going to hear it, because now that machine doesn't want to push them. They're pushing somebody else. So I always feel like as artists, it's 100% imperative for us to just keep control of our own destiny. Like the moment we sign it over to somebody else, it's over. It's over. I remember when I was going to go to the Air Force, my uncle got me. He was in the Air Force for 20 years. Shouts out to my Uncle David. He was in the Air Force for 20 years, and he almost got me to go. This is right before college, and he tells me one thing that made me not sign. He goes, "You ready to sign your life away to America?" Boy, when he said that, I was like, oh, man, you don't sign record deals like that, and you definitely don't sign contracts that say stuff like that. So when he said that, I was like, hey, I love you, Unc, but I'm going to have to choose something else, So I've always had that, not fear, but just the awareness of like, they're always trying to lock us in. They already have control. Don't give them more control.
Yeah.
Hold on, baby.
And then, I mean, even to piggyback on that was the whole, I was telling him why we're creating the NOOWGEN network. It's a website, and then the NOOWGEN radio on top of that, which is going to be a 24/7 running radio station on the website. But what we want to do is take everybody's content that we fuck with and put it on this website.
And find a way for the artists
to find a way for you guys to eat off it. Everybody will see the numbers. It'll be a transparent shit. It won't be like these other ones that have shit. They'll post your shit. They'll get thousands of views, or they'll get whatever they're getting off
dollars.
of it.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen the insides of these bigger companies, and they're making so much money off these artists. It's crazy. And yes, their platform's big enough where they're generating the views. But like I said, there's the lack of respect for the art too, especially when you see somebody's song hit for 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Yeah. Clearly the fans love it because of the art. It's not necessarily the platform.
And the thing is if we grind as hard as they do and promote the shit as a collective group, we can be as big or bigger than they are. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even say this to you, but when I was talking to Charlie and Aaron, like they want us involved in bringing back 209ers.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if y'all ever remember there was a website called 209ers.
Okay.
.com, and that shit was like Fizzler for they had it was dope. The layout was fire.
They had another one that was like that. It was called California News too, and but both were based on just Central Valley acts, and they would pick artists of the month. They're just from everywhere in the valley, not just like one area. That you'd see somebody from Dos Palace on there, or LB went in all these different spots, and so it was cool because it actually highlighted what we got going on out here, opposed to having to go. We get thrown at the bottom of the list when we go on Thizzler or we go on something down south. We kind of always get shuffled in the mix, where this highlighted just Valley content.
If you was dropping something, they was putting it on there.
Yeah, and it was dope. It was like World Star. It would pop
their
up.
Layout was pretty fire.
It was sick. Shouts out to my boy Aaron, because he was the brain behind all that.
Their logo was like, the lettering was kind of like, it was kind of like I would say San Francisco Giant colors.
Giants.
It was he still owns that shit, and I was telling you, Charlie had hit me and was like, they want to work on bringing that shit back, and I'm like, well, let's go. Like,
that's something
to get it going, and then it won't be a bias, because I believe 100% like a lot of them, the people are paying to get on certain shit and all that.
Yeah, bro. Fucking that Fizzler guy still texts me, hey, but it's not a real guy.
It's an animated.
Android, like a ChatGPT shit. And for what I want to do is, if it's talent, you're talented. I don't give a fuck if you get one view. If we believe you're talented, you deserve to be showcased. Like I was telling you, no shade on Lil Bruh on whatever he was doing, and there's other ones. They got the little fat white boy with the chain from like Alaska, and they promoting that shit. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, who's doing this? Like,
they're chasing clicks, they're not.
Yeah, and I know, and I'm just like, bro, and that's. I could care less about the clicks. He even said it before, like, I don't focus on views. I focus on the craft, right? Because at the end of the day, you keep doing it, eventually that's going to come. If you're dope enough, and that's the whole point of when we bring this whole network shit together. Is like, if it's dope, we're putting it on. I don't care if you don't know you like that or the past or whatever it may be. Like, if it's dope and it's from this area, 209 or whatever, we want to promote it.
We've always done that. Even on the radio show, there'll be guys that blatantly have, because like really honestly, we don't have beef with anyone, but we will hear that people don't like us or whatever, and some of those people have submitted radio songs and we put it on air. To us, it's not about. It's about making the Valley push forward. It's not about us and how our personal feelings are towards an artist. If they're trying to push the Valley and that's their message, and they're just they're trying to get themselves heard, it doesn't matter how I feel personally, how he feels personally. If the record's hot, we're playing it.
Yeah, I played middleman on a lot of shit. Yeah, as far as that, and we've seen cats blatantly hate, and that we still was like, shit's fire. We're gonna put it on.
There's been a couple of people where I know they don't like me, but he'll show me the record. I'm like, yeah, that shit's hot. Like, put it on there.
And then the beef shit. We've never like. We've always been cordial and kept it cool and shit. But if there was a problem, I've never been one to hold my tongue, and we would let it be known. But it was never about that. Like, if there's a problem, we'll handle that issue. But for the most part, it's always about. We ain't here for that shit.
Yeah, let's be gentlemen about it at the end of the day. It don't matter. I was young and dumb when I was super young. You know what I mean? So for me, I just know acting up and acting out don't really get you nowhere. So at this age that I'm at now, a father, I know that even like I said, if there's an issue, it could be handled behind closed doors as men, and we could still work on, getting the content out there and, pushing forward the agenda of the Valley.
Yeah, I know really you see me pop my shit before on videos and I talk my shit. But before, I used to really pop my shit, talk reckless.
Oh, yeah.
All caps. I used to be the cap king. All caps. Like, hey, motherfucker got a problem, or I'm mad.
For sure.
For
sure.
And, but and still, no one's never came to us with the funk either. You know what I mean? Like, but
not that we're looking for that either.
Yeah, not that we're looking for it, but
we know people do look for it.
We know people look for it. We always showed love, though. You look at it from NowFest from 2016, 17, 2022, we're talking 50 artists per show type shit on some of them. Like we was given opportunities, and whether it would be get off tickets or it would be just for free or whatever we could do. Like, shit, he believed in it enough to push y'all to be to give your own shit in San Jose, which was dope as fuck. I was there, you know what I mean? That was dope.
From the first time I seen you guys perform, though, I already knew that. Like, I was like, oh, I want to do something where they're their own headliner, So that, to me too, just seeing shit like that, just knowing. I've told him plenty of times behind closed doors. I don't know if I've ever told y'all, but I'm like, I think I just told y'all earlier, like, you guys gave me a lot of the vibe of the shit that I was going through when I was first coming up, So I see that. And I'm like, shit, I got to help them as much as I can. I got to, whether it be opening the doors for a show or, whether we work on a record, whatever it is, I was always willing to help because I can see it in you guys. You guys really want it. Not too many people where I can look in their eyes and see that they really want it. We get tons of people that say they want it. I got my own homies from my own hood that be like, fool, you need to put me in a booth. Woo, woo, woo. All right, meet me at 8 o'clock in the morning. Nope. You feel me? They ain't gonna do it. They'll talk a big game, but they don't really they don't know what it really takes to sacrifice to do this. I'm sure you guys know you spend a lot of time away from your family. It's a lot of self-sacrifice that comes with living this lifestyle. So I just admire how hard you guys are. Your guys' quality is always A1, you know, whether it's visually, you know, in the music, you know, you be killing on the beats. You know, I loved watching you learning production like that. Those are things that I always wanted to do too. Like, so when I see somebody do it, I'm like, it's dope because it even inspires me to feel like, oh shit, maybe I might fuck around.
Yeah, you've been popping
you
more
know?
of the visuals too.
No, but you guys,
too.
like I said, you guys been doing every aspect of the arts, which is something I think all artists should take a note on. You know, because we got too many artists that are just sitting there like, man, I don't got nobody helping me do shit,
and they're not using social media like they should. Because to be honest, when we were coming up, we was doing shows every weekend. There was way more promoters and clubs that was willing to put shows and all that on now. Like with your boy Adrian and Twin and all these cats that was even 20 grind and shit. Like,
I think the game changed though with the shows. You know,
a lot of clubs were like, we're only going.
Well, hip hop ended up getting a negative connotation when it comes to shows, just because of throughout the years. You know, hip hop gets a bad rap when it comes to violence and shit like that. If one artist is violent, they make it seem like all artists are violent, you know? And or even like you get a situation like what happened with Travis Scott where there's the Astro Word incident. So like,
and that's not even on him.
It's
he
not.
hires people and he trusts people.
But then hip hop takes a ding because
sure.
now insurance goes up.
Oh,
when you want to go book a
2022
show.
Now Fest 2022
Oh man, the insurance be crazy. So like
they was trying to hit us in the head crazy.
When stuff like that happens, people don't know that on the business side we're gonna take a hit, you know, because I remember when the Astro World thing happened. I don't blame Travis Scott or anybody involved with that. I just believe that other companies, they see it as a liability. They're gonna raise up the prices on the premium just so that way you're not even interested in doing business with them.
Some of them was denying us insurance.
Yeah, because
with no alcohol, no nothing. They were like, no. They were telling me no.
We could tell them stop the violence.
And then they were telling me no, but I went on there just fucking around. I was like, country with alcohol, 400 people, like $60.
$60 for the insurance.
So it's a fucked up shit behind the scenes that people don't know.
But it's good to learn stuff like that.
Hell yeah, it is.
We learned we're getting fucked here. We're literally.
We ended up getting a good. Johnny ended up getting a good one for that one, but like. No, but I like the spot in Turlock that gives motherfuckers opportunities to perform and shit like that.
It's a great spot.
Shout out Laura, shout out G Spot.
Yeah. We did the 420 like 2 years ago, I think, out there and shit.
We need more spaces like that. You know?
Yeah.
What do you think happened? Is it just the connotation of hip hop?
Yeah, I think it's as far as when it comes to the bigger buildings, like getting into like these clubs and stuff like that. They're just, now they're only willing to deal with a hip hop artist if they're established and bigger. And
I think it's a headache.
Have a name.
So even as a promoter, right, if I'm a promoter at a club and they're willing to give me a deposit to bring a bigger artist, some of them clubs now are like, we're just bringing that bigger artist. And if they got a couple people open it up for them, cool. We see shows where they would bring a bigger artist and it'd be like 10, 15 openers. Then you got all these different crews in there. You got all these different gangs. And it was just, they finally like, you know what, fuck it. We're not going to deal with it. Because a lot of these independent artists are jokers. Like they fuck around. They're not on time. They're late.
They show up with 15 people at the door.
I've seen artists that are hardly nobodies and then they show up late, or they complain about the time they going on, or they doing all that. Why, as a promoter, am I going to deal with that headache?
Yeah, it makes sense.
You as an artist got to learn, as an independent artist, if any of these motherfuckers is listening, you got to be as professional as possible. I used to get on them all the time. We have to show up to shows early, perform and leave. We would do that. We opened up for Burn Fest in Turlock one year. It was Burner. Performed and left. Like, Ty Dolla $ign was the next year.
I know. I told him, I was like, "Hey, Burner's about to go on." He's like, "No shot to Burner."
Yeah,
we love Burner. I just said he was just so over the shows because we did like 3 shows a night at that time. So he's like, "Man, this is the last show. We going home now after our set."
Now, mind you, peep this shit, right? And now, mind you, I mean, I slowed down a little bit smoking, but imagine being in the inside building in Turlock at the fairgrounds. Smoked out,
You can't even
smoked
see
out
in
in there,
that
right?
motherfucker.
But there's little kids in there too. I'm like, what the?
He
fuck?
don't like seeing shit like that. I mean, nobody likes seeing shit like that.
I was like, what
know,
the
so,
fuck is going on? Like, nah, we gotta get
so
out.
he's like, we gotta get out of here
before they come up in here. And I don't even Burner obviously probably didn't know there was gonna be.
Well,
like
I'm sure
all age.
I mean, it
shit.
says all age on the flyer, but
Common
I think
sense
that's
should
up
tell
to
you,
the
don't bring
parent.
no
You know, the
little
parent knows they're bringing them to a burner show.
Bro, when I tell
I'm
you
pretty sure they
smoked out. It was called Burn Fest.
Yeah.
And then the second year, Todd Allenstein was on it, and then like, we've done open up for so many cats. It's insane. Like,
I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier about us doing our shit. Just thank you for that. Appreciate it.
No, hell yeah, dude. Yeah,
I think a big part of it is just we didn't want to pay nobody. You know,
of
it's
course,
like
of course.
we couldn't pay nobody.
Yeah.
So it was just
the
like
same for us.
we just I guess
what do
we're
you mean
gonna
to have somebody perform
videos
or?
like make our video
Like being self-sufficient.
mixing,
No facts.
making beats.
Facts.
Well, making beats is more of a passion, but then you learn like, okay, how do we record? Like, why does it sound like shit? You know, so a lot of it is like. I guess we didn't even know we could pay people. It's like I guess we got to learn it, and then we just ended up learning everything. So that was amazing, man.
You cut out so much of money and bullshit and dealing with it because you buy your own equipment and you don't need nobody. You got a camera. We had the studio. Like we had cameras even then. I was buying cameras and shit. Like we had everything too, so we didn't need to. The only thing we really had to pay for was like certain shows and shit like that. But when you got your own equipment, you don't need nobody. Like, then that's the beauty of it. That's why they need to learn how to do everything. And he was the one of the only ones out of anybody that's ever been in the squad.
What do you think? Do you think it's like laziness, or is it just they're not passionate about the other stuff, or what do you guys think it is?
A lot of people get discouraged.
Oh, okay.
People get discouraged over time. They'll put in. What they perceive is to be a long time. Like to me, I've been in the game since I was 11. I'm 33 now, so that's 20 years of constant grind. Do I feel like I'm where I want to be? No. Do I feel like I'm on the path to getting there? Yes. A lot of people are just they can't see the future. None of us can, but they don't see it enough to be like, all right, I'm gonna work towards that. They just think that. They want instant results. So the fact that they're not getting it's the fact that they're not getting that, then they stop, or they just don't take it as serious as we were saying before. Like, when you were saying that right now, I was like, the only thing is once you do learn, now it's on you. Like now it's on you.
You can't blame anybody.
Yeah, because everybody that comes to me now, they know like. Johnny can do graphics. Johnny can do videos. Johnny can do, he can record me. He can do all these things. But the moment, like, I don't do it for myself, it's already, like, and we got dudes under us, too, that I do it for. But they're making, like, those guys are hoping that I'm doing it for myself as well, too, because then they lack that little bit of motivation. So I know that that's key, too. If I have to drive myself to keep, like, my team going, to keep the machine that we're trying to build going, you just got to be hard on yourself. There's times, like I said, where something might bother me that day. I was literally in the studio the other day. He knows I was bothered by something. It was just, like, really irritating the fuck out of me. And I had my daughter with me. And that country artist, William, was in there. And I come out the booth, I'm rapping a song, and he's like, man, you killed that shit. He's like, I could hear your, like, aggression. I was rapping. I was like, oh, yeah, man, I had a bad day today. And he goes, he's like, oh, man, that's dope that you can channel that. I was like, well, I needed to today. Like, I was like, I absolutely needed to channel all that energy into this so that way I don't use it on the wrong thing. It could be something as simple as I'm frustrated, my daughter asked me for something, and I'll be like, oh, hold on. Like sometimes you don't realize that the shit you're going through can affect everyone around you, so that's why I told him, I was like, no matter what you go through, just put that shit in the music and you're gonna get your result back tenfold. Like you're gonna look back at that song and be like, yeah, I feel like I'm glad I got it out there, and I'm glad I didn't bullshit myself and be like, I'm not being in the studio today, like fuck today, because there's been times where I do that and I kick myself in the head every time because I'm like, dude, it wasn't even that serious what you were going through. You know, you could have just got up and just, you know, especially when he says it all the time. He's like, they might be tripping on that shit today. 2-3 days later, they ain't gonna be talking about that shit. They're gonna be talking about the next thing. They're gonna be talking about, or it could be the next day something crazier happens.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that he told me that right when the Will Smith thing happened, where he slapped Chris Rock. Yeah. People were talking about it that day, but then by the end of the week, they talking about something else.
Yeah,
like, sure, it was a moment,
it's
but
that social media that's that 15 minutes of it's popping now, and people's attention spans are like lab rats. So that's why music is on like 2-3 minute songs now. They're not doing 6-7 minutes like we was.
You guys said something at a show that I loved. You said, man, motherfucker, you guys were performing. You're like, motherfuckers doing 3-track EPs. What the fuck is going on out here? And I started dying laughing. I was like, so I was in my head. I'm like, preach, because we come from an era where shit. He had albums were like 20 records.
I was doing like 30 songs.
Yeah, 20, 30. I used to tell him your shits are compilations. Like, but
because I thought everything at the time was hot.
But I love that you guys said that like out loud. You feel me? Because it puts creators in a position where they're like, I gotta do more. Let me do more. It's not bad to do more, you know. People want to put it like it's another way of putting us in a box. They want us to stay. Let's just give us a small sample size and we'll. But shit, if my creativity is flowing and I want to make 10, 20 songs, there's nothing against the rules that says that I could do that. There is no rules in this shit.
That's what we said since the beginning. There were zero rules, bro.
People try to make rules and shit, but to go back to like the whole like doing everything type of thing. If you love it, do it. If you don't, because there's certain, like when I was gonna try and do beats at one point in the very, very beginning. My shit got stolen though, but I was very discouraged with the beats. But I got caught on quick with recording and shit. Our sound was top tier after learning it a while. Shit, like he said, I could do graphics. We can rap. We could do a multitude of things, but don't get discouraged if you can't do something. Like that's what you got a team for, to do other shit. Like I can't shoot a fucking video. Only one time did I take footage one time, and I was on the Mac shit, and I had that shit right on point. I did one little bullshit ass thing, and it fucked the whole video up. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. You know what I mean? And I was like, nah.
You got to go through a lot of those when you're.
But he knows how to do it. So I'm like, all right, cool. He could do that. I could. But if there's a day where he can't do a graphic, I for surely could do the graphic or, whatever. But it's just a team effort and shit. And if you love it, do it. If not, if you're just gonna do it because you have to, it's kind of crazy. You might not put your all into it. If you love making beats, bang, do that shit. But you know what I mean? Recording motherfuckers, like we were saying earlier, like I don't do that shit. I ain't doing it no more.
My passion's not there.
Now the plan eventually when I'm,
because then you're doing them a disservice. You're not even into it.
Yeah, exactly. So you get frustrated. You're this, you're that. Like this motherfucker need to hurry up. He's taking forever for one verse. And that's another thing too. I will never get into a booth, even when we had our own shit, if I wasn't completely ready to lay it down. I don't want to waste nobody's time. When I go to Steadfast, I could actually within an hour I'm banging out like 4 or 5 songs, like because I just want to get in and get out, make sure it's on point. But
yeah, if I know he's going in there, I'll be like, oh, I could show up on time because I know he's gonna be done.
Yeah,
he knocks his shit out.
And then I have plans on moving back early next year. Now I had to push it back, but to open a studio out there, so I'm gonna have to get back on in the beginning to record cats and do that, but it's gonna get me to get back up to that shit because there's certain artists out there that are already rocking with it. It's gonna motivate me to do it. Like these cats is dope.
Yeah, we got a whole little East Coast division that's gonna
I'm trying to. That's the whole plan.
I'm excited for that because the artists out there really are good.
It's like California. It's act local, think global. Act local, think global is.
I like that.
And then that's California's motto. We picked that shit up. I got a jacket with it.
The spot to do Now Fest out there. We're driving out there, right? He took me to his hometown. Shouts out to Lane City. We out there, and we passed by this big ass stage. It's in this park, and I go, "What they doing at that park right there?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Oh, that's so and so park." I go, "That's where Now Fest finna be at over here on the East Coast."
And so that's the thing too, is to get the website going, get the radio shit going, and expand it from here to here, so from East to West Coast, so that we can be like, yo,
there's a pipeline now for artists to be from
we got
the West
shows
to the
in New
East.
York. Yeah, we got a show in New York. We got a show in Philly. Can y'all come? You know what I mean? So then vice versa, we'll take artists from over there and bring them over here, and then we would
And
have.
just so you know,
we'll
you can
have
come.
Oh no, y'all are first on that list. Trust and believe
for
that.
sure,
Like,
because
for sure.
you know, and I already got tons of locations out there.
Bro, both of our ladies know who y'all are. So that's how you know, like, we fuck with y'all. Like, you feel me? Both of our ladies are like, oh, you going with Slowburn today? Okay. Like, you feel me? Like, so
my lady,
she
we
talk y'all up for sure. So
Man, that's
just
love.
trust and believe when we're thinking about stuff like for the East Coast shit or a lot of things that we think about. Y'all are like the first names that come up on, like, all right, when we're looking at artists that we want to fuck with for whatever we're doing, y'all are the first ones on there. So y'all never got to.
You gotta be cats as people that's
Hell yeah,
people that's hungry and
I don't know
ready
if y'all
to get
remember,
it.
y'all came to the Euphoria thing. And y'all was like, y'all, I don't know if I can say this, but y'all a little shroomed out. But y'all came up to me.
Euphoria,
and you were like, we're going to work. And I just felt, I even felt the energy then. Like, I was like, man, I like these dudes, man. They really,
I swear, every time I see you, I say that shit, huh?
Yeah.
Every time I see you, like, yo, we're going to do this shit. I was tipsy the last time at the hot dog stand shit.
Oh, yeah.
Because I actually just hit up Eli about that song. But we got to figure out if you guys still have the stems. I might,
know.
but it's still probably in the email. That's what I'm saying.
Just if we don't have them, we're still ready to go again. You know?
Right. So you know what we'll do is, I mean, I think we
could just make a new one.
I would rather y'all rather y'all come to Steph Fest.
Okay.
Because I definitely been wanting to link y'all up and because he's been wanting to work with y'all anyways.
I mean, we worked with him years ago.
Okay,
he was the first studio we went to.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dope as shit.
dope.
Where
You
was
were
it at?
You were there,
You
dude.
were there.
I passed you a blunt.
Yeah, he was there, man.
I was there with him?
No, you was just there by yourself.
Okay,
you were the one
okay.
engineering us at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
I remember
We were
you.
epidemics still. We were epidemics.
Damn.
Yeah. That's ccrazy.
Damn. That's
Was
crazy.
that on
That's on
16th?
16th. That's on 16th.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
As
Next
soon as
to
they
the
said it,
noodle
I'm
shop.
like, on 16th for sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's
That was a
where it had
dope
to
ass
be.
studio, man.
Hey, that
I
was
love that
cool.
shit.
That was crazy. We walked in, and we're like, whoa! Like from the outside, you don't even know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure.
You
for
walk in,
sure.
I was like, what the? Like this is the first time we've seen any studio.
They had that lounge
It's only been my
area.
bedroom.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
since then.
yeah.
Before that, so we were like, whoa, it's crazy. There's a
It-
booth.
It
And
was
we're like,
such
what
a
the?
vibe
Yeah.
that we could smoke in there. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
we're whiz right now, bro.
Yeah,
You know
no,
it's crazy.
You definitely the vibe was crazy. The lounge area, and then the booth was by itself. You
Yeah.
had to go into the other room to get to the booth.
That's
and
all
the
Eli
engineer.
and Lenny too, as far
Yeah,
as on the
shout out to them,
aesthetic.
man.
You know, they really knew because they were coming from LA. They worked with Capitol Records and stuff like that, so they already knew how the big scale studios worked and ran.
Okay.
Because even for me working there, I'm like, damn, I'm working at this studio, like a nice ass studio. I wasn't used to that. We, like you guys said, for home shit. I'm working at his studio, which is nice, but going to Steph Fest was like a little bit of a nicer level, just because. Like you could just tell they made this whole building based off of just to be a studio for artists, and that was like one of my first real music jobs too. You know, I was always just an artist, and then they were like, we can tell you like this shit. Like, you want to be an engineer over here and just record artists, you
That's
know?
awesome, dude.
So that's kind of how I ended up over there. Just with, Eli's my main engineer, and he's like, dude, you could just record people for us.
Yeah, I was even doing it for a little bit, like as far as like just recording them. He's like, yo, I just need you to record them. I'm like, oh, I could do that, but I'm not about to get up in here.
But that's the one thing I love about that studio, bro. Like you guys say, like bringing back memories like that. It's like there's so many young people that went to that studio that like do music today. Like, and I'm just like, damn, like you forget that so many people came through there, you know, that it's dope because you guys continued with it. You know, you guys still, and then there's some people that I know that went there that like passed away, like some young cats that didn't make it, you know, so that I'm glad that you guys continue to, you know, follow your dreams, because I've seen young cats go before their time, and that shit hurts, man. Like, you know, sitting there in the studio with them and seeing their smile and their enthusiasm for this, you know, and then not being able to like see it come to fruition. Sometimes that'd be the hardest part about this shit, man. We meet a lot of artists that, you know, for whatever reason, life just doesn't go their way, and sometimes we lose them. We just lost a couple close friends recently that been in our music shit since the beginning, and it was just a instant reminder, like, man, this shit's, it's not forever. You know, we got real life. He always says that to me. You know, we got real life to live. It's not just this music shit. You know, you got to turn it off at sometimes. And like I was saying, just losing some of those homies kind of brought that back into perspective. Like, man, there's a real big mission we're doing here, but it's also good to just love on your brother just because that's your brother. You feel me? And, that makes all this shit worthwhile at the end of the day too. You know.
Yeah, the struggle is how do you balance the music shit? Because like you were saying earlier, like we were away from our families a lot and all this other shit. Like I could have got my daughters today, but I knew I had to go to the studio. I knew I had the interviews. I was like, I'm gonna get them tomorrow. But like maintaining a 9 to 5 or some steady income to help flow and push this shit. You know what I mean? Because that then you have like dealing with family members, dealing with death, dealing with all just life in general is and to maintain this shit, a lot of motherfuckers don't know unless they're in that. You know what I mean? Like, and y'all know it. Y'all been doing it for long enough to.
Yeah, man. Well, listen,
y'all are like vets in this shit now too, man. For real, y'all getting to that.
It's been 10.
It's almost 10. It's coming up on 10.
10
Yeah, y'all
years.
getting into that vet status too, man. So y'all gonna have little dudes telling y'all about the history y'all been living for real too.
They been call y'all motherfuckers unk.
Yo, when they call me unk,
we're like fresh unk age. Like we're still barely getting into that, you know.
Y'all still got some time to go, but like I said,
just turned 25, so
yeah.
I got a little more to go.
Yeah, y'all still got a little more to go.
My nephews and my stepson. Y'all motherfuckers is unks already.
Yeah, that's what the kids. That's what the kids.
I'm like, damn it, y'all over here
preemptively.
Yeah. But honestly, man, like, before we wrap it up, I just like I said, I gotta say, you guys inspire us too. You know, it's not just us doing what we do. We see what y'all are doing, and it lights a fire in us to want to be great artists too. You know. And that's what this shit's about. You know, you see, instead of seeing somebody and being intimidated by it, I like to go to it. Like, you know, I'm that kid that like touches the fire. Like, why is this so hot? Or like, but no, man, what you guys are doing is great. From the podcast to the music to the video to everything, man. It's always been genuine love between us. So I just, I'm excited to see what you guys unfold into in the future. You know, because I know you guys do solo shit and as a group. You know, so I can't wait to see everything. You know, what you guys got in the future, because I know it's gonna be great for sure.
I appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate. Like, no, it's sure, crazy, man, brother. I appreciate it a lot because both of you guys are great artists.
Thank you, brother.
And I think just great artists inspiring great art is a beautiful thing.
No, hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you were saying about the inspiring shit. Yeah, I see it. I'm like, oh, they out here getting it. I was like, hey, we need to get back on pushing the line. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what everybody needs from time to time. It's not for me. It's like, oh, yep, they out here. Let's.
Like I said, I'll see y'all. Yeah, I mean, there was a span where y'all putting videos out like almost damn near every day, it seemed, and I'm just like, damn, they videos going hard, man. I'm like, can we just get one video? Like, let's just work on one. You know what I mean? So, but that's what I mean. Just
y'all using that social media really good. Like as far as the like those snippet videos and like the kind of La Russell type where it's just they're rapping and the words come up and y'all grasping the social media part of it, which is a part of the game. We need to start doing a little more as well.
Yeah, but like,
because ours is like put the projects out, do like the reels and shit, but like, and then full-fledged music video, instead of putting out, like clips and shit.
Yeah, because we'll make a video, right? We'll make like a big video, like our last video, Element, is one of our biggest videos we've ever done. Whole storyline and everything.
Yeah. Then, that's one thing y'all motherfuckers do too.
And then we'll just turn that to reels. So we have a reel with the hook, and then half of my verse, and then one of my full verse, and then the second half of my verse going into the hook, and then the hook going into his verse, and then his whole verse. So we just like, we make one big thing, and then we just
chop it down. That's what like Joe Rogan and them do, man. They do the same thing, like break it down to clips. And like I said, I like watching what you guys do because it keeps me inspired. There's a lot of dope talent out right now. You know, to me, like I said, if we're talking about what I like seeing right now, what I'm watching, the artists I got my eye on is y'all and Mally. Those are the ones that are like, I'm like, I just like what y'all are doing. I see a huge upside for y'all. You know what I mean? You guys have something that is you know, it's gonna touch people. You know, I've seen Mally with his lyrical ability and his storytelling. I see you guys have lyrical ability, but what you guys won me over was the show. Like seeing you guys get people to actually feel that real emotion. You know, like to see you guys can control people and actually get them to put their hands up and move like that. That's
Bitch, I slow burn, and y'all motherfuckers is jumping around and shit.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's so hard to get people to do that.
It is to draw their attention.
It's so hard to get people like to actually. It's hard to get one person to get what you got. When you start getting the whole room rocking with you, you know that's special. You know, and you guys got that. And like I said, Mally got that too. And I know there's a bunch of other artists, and I don't mean to forget any artists or anything like that. I just, like I said, I got my eyes on you guys. I watch you guys a lot, and it's inspiring for sure.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate it a lot.
Hell yeah.
Thank you guys both for coming. We're at an hour 30, I think. This is one of our longer podcasts.
Okay.
I feel like we talk about all day.
We're OGs,
like
so we're going to talk.
No, I'm sure we can go for 3, 4.
We'll have to spin the block. And,
I think we'll get one individually.
Yeah, for sure.
One-on-one with you guys.
Yeah.
And then we'll go more into your guys' more personal stories.
Yes, sir.
But thank you guys for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Slow Burn Hour.
Hey.
We'll see you next time.
Say it. Can y'all say sploosh?
Sploosh.